Welcome to the 2021 Virtual National History Day in Indiana State Contest Awards. While the COVID-19 pandemic is still preventing us all from gathering in person, the Indiana Historical Society is once again thrilled to provide this virtual offering for students and teachers across Indiana. My name is Jody Blankenship, and I serve as the Indiana Historical Society's President and CEO. It is my honor to welcome all of you and to thank you for your participation in the 2021 National History Day in Indiana program. The Indiana Historical Society collects and preserves Indiana's unique stories, brings Hoosiers together in remembering and sharing the past, and inspires a future grounded in our state's uniting values and principles. The National History Day in Indiana program, which is an affiliate of the national program, furthers the Indiana Historical Society's mission by encouraging students to critically analyze information from the past. Through interpretation, students learn how the past has shaped and informed our present, and will continue to shape and inform our future. While this year has continued to be unconventional, the Indiana Historical Society staff who work on National History Day in Indiana have sought to provide the same quality of program as in previous years. This year, the staff have adapted to virtual means of working with students and teachers statewide. During the 2020-2021 academic year, more than 170 teachers and 4,600 students participated in National History Day in Indiana. I want to recognize your perseverance during these difficult times. Despite the challenges presented by the COVID-19 pandemic, you have all performed admirably and created projects under the theme of communication in history, the key to understanding. All of your hard work has culminated in this, the Indiana State Awards Ceremony. Out of a plethora of potential topics, there are 56 nominations for special prize topics which relate to Indiana history. Whether you looked at local, state, national, or international history, your projects are a testament to what you can do during a global pandemic. Before Johnny begins the awards portion of this program, I want to thank all of our National History Day in Indiana teachers who have continued to encourage their students' academic growth despite the personal and professional challenges they undoubtedly faced. I also want to thank all of the parents and guardians, many of whom took on additional responsibilities during the pandemic. I would also like to thank our sponsors, whose generous support continues to enhance the National History Day in Indiana program. The Richard W. and Irene Rooker Family Foundation, TCU Foundation, and the Vigran Family Foundation. And now I'd like to hand it over to Larry Landis and Dick Rooker, a former and current trustee of the Indiana Historical Society and both longtime supporters of National History Day in Indiana.
I'm Larry Landis. I'm a former member of the Board of Trustees of the Indiana Historical Society. And on behalf of the board, the staff, and literally hundreds of volunteers, it's my privilege to welcome you to this telecast today. More importantly, I've been a volunteer at the regional and state levels involved in judging and judging exhibits, papers, and documentaries. And it's primarily in that capacity that I'm here to talk with you today. My mission today is basically to do the acknowledgments on behalf of the Historical Society, of the many people that it takes to put this on. So first of all, I think it's important that we pay tribute to the teachers all across the state of Indiana, who are involved with their students, their commitment to history, their commitment to helping students to grow in terms of their knowledge and their experience, and mentoring, And so we thank the many teachers that are involved with the History Day function. Secondly, the commitment of the parents is essential. Their devotion, their support, their encouragement of their children, their students, is also instrumental in the construction of this program. that you're about to see. And speaking of and to students, people, the work you're going to see today is a result of many hours of hard work and discipline. The quality of your work shows, and at its very best, it's breathtaking. 2 years ago, those of us who were judging the documentary film competition saw a film that was so good that we recommend that it be accepted, or submitted, I should say, to the International Heartland Film Festival. Now, to put that into context, Heartland gets 3,000 entries, of which 200 internationally from 60 nations are selected for the Heartland Film Festival. So, to the student participants, we want to thank you for the efforts that you put in, and congratulations. Until coronavirus, the state level participants all got together in one huge auditorium at the end of the day to celebrate the day and the opportunity to participate and compete. And it was a way cool way to celebrate the event and the day. Unfortunately, I'm sorry that you won't have that experience today, but give yourselves a virtual round of applause. Now, the annual subjects are always thought-provoking, but this year's subject, Communications in History, could not have been more important at this time. Apart from the broad scope of the topic, communication involves arguably two of the most important elements in the entirety of American history, freedom of the press and freedom of speech. At the very heart of our nation's history, without them, most of our other constitutional guarantees would be in danger, arguably more so right now than at any other time in American history other than perhaps the Civil War and the early 20th century. While you may not have realized it, what you studied this year through History Day is fundamental to your calling to defend liberty, the quality of life, and equal opportunity for all. Your involvement could not be more important or meaningful. From all of those who volunteer and otherwise contribute to the success of History Day, thank you, students, for paying it forward.
Welcome to NHDI State Finals, everyone. The best school day of the year. The best day to showcase your learning. The best day to be excited about your brain. The best day to celebrate the gift of you to your parents, your family members, your friends, your teachers, even to total strangers like me, because today I get to meet the next generation of excellence growing up in Indiana. It's the best day to show how deeply you've gone with your NHDI project. The Rooker Family Foundation loves National History Day because we believe the deeper you go in your learning, the higher you'll go in life. Depth is what NHDI is all about in learning and relationships. 12 years ago, our then 8th grade son made an NHDI individual documentary on the Freedom Riders of 1961. To do that at the level he wanted, he interviewed Freedom Riders, Kennedy administration officials, and a Ku Klux Klansman to bring balance to his project. Our family formed wonderful, deep relationships with many of the Freedom Riders he interviewed, and we've maintained those relationships since then. One of those relationships has led to the publication last month of Buses Are A-Comin', Memoir of a Freedom Rider, that I had the honor and privilege of co-writing with original Freedom Rider Charles Person. This book would not exist without an 8th grade Indiana NHD student making a phone call to a national hero to create a documentary that year. National History Day. It's not just a day, it's an experience that will lead you to places you cannot imagine. So enjoy today. It's a day to celebrate your work, your brain, your creativity. It's a day to celebrate you.
First and foremost, I have to say a very hearty congratulations to each and every one of our students, teachers, volunteers, and guardians who have helped with National History Day in Indiana this year. Whether you have been in person, hybrid, or virtual this year, the challenges you have all faced and overcome have been daunting. Your accomplishments should be applauded, and each student, regardless of the outcome today, should feel proud of the work that they have done. This year, the Indiana Historical Society is pleased to recognize the work of students who completed projects in Indiana-related topics. We have received over 50 nominations for 13 special prizes this year, each covering a different aspect of local Indiana history. Through the generous support of donors around the state, we are pleased to have been able to offer over $10,000 in prize money. This year, each recipient's educator will also receive a $50 prize. Students and teachers, be on the lookout for an email from Johnny about how to claim your award money. So now, without any further ado, I would like to begin with the Gene Stratton Porter Prize. The Gene Stratton Porter Prize is a $100 cash prize awarded to a student or group with an outstanding project on Indiana environmentalist and author Gene Stratton Porter. It was sponsored by Janet McCabe and John Larimore in memory of Evelyn McCabe. This year's recipient is Cecilia Mundy for her senior individual performance on Communicating Nature Through Literature, Gene Stratton Porter and the Limberlost. Next, we have the Indiana Women in STEM Prize, sponsored by Lauren Gray, author of 1001 Watts. The Indiana Women in STEM Prize is a $100 cash prize that is awarded to a student or group with an outstanding project on a woman from Indiana who made a difference in STEM. This year's recipient is Ginny Neumeister and Haley Neumeister for their junior group documentary on the concealed contributions of Elizabeth Smith Friedman, cracking communication through code breaking. The Idoljurg Museum Prize for Native Americans, sponsored by the Idoljurg Museum of American Indians and Western Art, is a $250 cash prize that is awarded to a student or group with an outstanding project on Indiana's Native Americans. This year's recipient is Faith Austin for their senior individual documentary on Zikala Shah, the red bird who called for change. The Paddy Curran Prize for Fashion Design is a $250 cash prize awarded to a student or group with an outstanding project that features an Indiana fashion designer or designers. This prize is sponsored by Paddy Curran. This year's recipient is Ayan Abbasi and Sanchali Pathuru for their senior group documentary on Signature Styler, The Life of Eleanor Lambert. Next, we have the International History in Indiana Prize, sponsored anonymously. This $250 cash prize is awarded to a student or group with an outstanding project on an international history topic that has an Indiana connection. This year's recipient is Paras Punatar for their senior individual documentary on communication through legislation, how the Nunn-Luger Act secured the nation. The Women's History in Indiana Prize, sponsored by the Women's History Association, is a $250 cash prize awarded to a student or group with an outstanding project on women's history in Indiana. This year's recipient is Raquel Brower for their senior individual performance on Talking to Chimpanzees, how Jane Goodall changed the way we research and understand animals. The Crown Hill Heritage Foundation Prize for Notable Hoosiers, sponsored by the Crown Hill Heritage Foundation, is a $250 cash prize awarded to a student or group with an outstanding project about a notable Hoosier buried in Crown Hill Cemetery. This year's recipient is Benjamin Riggins, Margaret Schwitzer, Isabella Scott, David Steele, and Kiefer Earle for their senior group performance on James Whitcomb Riley, Spreading Joy Through Poetry. The next prize is the Indiana Local History Prize, sponsored by the IHS Local History Services. There are two $250 cash prizes, one for the Youth and Junior Division and one for the Senior Division. This prize is awarded to a student or group with an outstanding project focused on local Indiana history. This year's Youth Junior Division recipient is Curran Flick and Sophia DeVry for their junior group documentary on Hear Us, Indiana's Fight for Suffrage. This year's Senior Division recipient is Rebecca Pinheiro for their senior individual performance on Cicero, Indiana, Ryan White's Advocacy for Acceptance and Truth. Next, we have the Richard G. Luger Prize for Documentary Excellence, sponsored by Larry S. Landis. This $500 cash prize is awarded to a student or group with an outstanding documentary project on Indiana political history. This year's recipient is Curran Flick and Sophia DeVry for their junior group documentary on Hear Us, Indiana's Fight for Suffrage. The Ayers Prize for Commerce in Indiana is a $500 cash prize sponsored by Nancy Ayers and is awarded to a student or group with an outstanding project related to the history of commerce in Indiana. This year's recipient is Jaron Pettigrew for their senior paper on Lily's Purpose. The William Henry Smith Memorial Library Prize, sponsored by Matthew and Suzanne Hahn, is a $500 cash prize awarded to a student or group with an outstanding project that utilizes the collection of the William Henry Smith Memorial Library. This year's recipient is Kennedy Baldwin and Whitney Fung for their senior group exhibit on dehumanizing the Japanese. And finally, we have the National History Day in Indiana Prize, sponsored by the Indiana Historical Society. This $1,000 cash prize is awarded to a high school junior or senior student, recognizing the outstanding body of work accomplished across many years of individual or group project participation. This year's recipient is Faith Austin. Congratulations again for all of our special award recipients. I'd like to hand it back over to Johnny now for the category awards.
Thank you, Bethany. My name is Johnny Fox, and I am the Education Coordinator at IHS and the State Affiliate Coordinator for National History Day in Indiana. This has certainly been a challenging year for everyone, and I can't thank you all enough for your patience, understanding, and determination through this unique process of doing virtual contests. You've all been amazing, and I commend you on your perseverance. I also want to thank our sponsors again, the Richard W. and Irene Rooker Family Foundation, TCU Foundation, and the Vigran Family Foundation. We greatly appreciate your support. We could not do what we do without you. I've said this at every contest, but I really do mean it when I say that no matter what the results are today, you should all be incredibly proud of yourselves. You made it to state. Before we begin our category awards, we want to acknowledge our 2 national nominees for the Patricia Baring Teacher of the Year Award. Each year, a junior and senior division educator are recognized for the astounding work they do in their state. This year, we are proud to recognize Tanner Givens of Discovery Middle School and Troy Hammond of Shortridge High School as our Patricia Baring Teacher of the Year nominees. They will find out at the national contest if they are awarded the national award. We wish Tanner and Troy the best. Now, let's move on to our category awards. All students who rank in first or second place today in each category in junior and senior divisions are eligible to compete in the national contest this year. If first or second place cannot compete, third place may take that spot. For all of our award winners today, I will be sending out emails immediately after the award ceremony with all of the information you need to register for nationals and sign up for project consultations if you would like to have extra feedback on your project. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Category awards. We're going to start with Youth Individual Exhibit. In second place, Kaylee Burnell with Emmett Till. And in first place, Isabella Brooks with The Diary of Anne Frank. Youth Group Exhibit. In third place, Betsy Castaneda, Maya Wakefield, and Neda Ibanez Garcia with Helen Keller Communicating in Sign Language. In second place, Keegan Ritter and Madison Fisher with the Fayette County Free Fair, a tradition since 1903. And in first place, Audrey Miller, Brooklyn Sherwood, and Regan Sherwood for Communication in Hiding, The Diary of Anne Frank. Youth Paper. In first place, Maximilian Mundy for Alexander Graham Bell Advances Communication. Junior Individual Exhibit. In third place, Eleanor Dillman for Amelia Earhart. In second place, Audrey Wandling for World War II Navajo Code Talkers. And in first place, Shrija Bhattacharjee for Communication, Key to Apollo 11's Success. And congratulations to all of our finalists. Junior Group Exhibit. In third place, Abigail Nicholas and Lauren Wallen for The Diary of Anne Frank. In second place, Rachel McKinley and Rhea Snyder for the Seneca Falls Convention of 1848. And in first place, Ethan Kelly and Julian Boss for Navajo Code Talkers. Junior Individual Documentary. In third place, Lily Meisner for World War I United States Propaganda. In second place, Janavi Kaushik for Barack and Michelle Obama. And in first place, Steve Hackwelder for Sweeping the Clouds Away, How Sesame Street Revolutionized Children's Television. And congratulations to all of our finalists. Junior Group Documentary. In third place, Corin Flick and Sophia DeVry for Hear Us, Indiana's Fight for Suffrage. In second place, Jenny Neumeister and Haley Neumeister for the Concealed Contributions of Elizabeth Smith Friedman, Cracking Communication Through Code Breaking. And in first place, Caleb Duell, Finley Bailey, Robinson Hoffert, and Wyatt Stapleton for Singing for Change, The Power of Music in the Civil Rights Movement. Junior Individual Website. In third place, John Hahn for The Invention of the Telephone. In second place, Dylan Hacken for Pearl Harbor. And in first place, Nick Ingram for Show Me the Money, Broadcasting and Sports. And congratulations to all of our finalists. Junior Group Website. In third place, Lillian Norris and Madison Raper for The Great Chicago Fire. In second place, Brianna Benche, Camden Lennox, Tatum Bergen, and Trey Davis for Hedy Lamarr and the Secret Communication System. In first place, Ariana Ballining and Maishara Bohannon for Brown versus the Board of Education, Communicate to Desegregate. Junior Group Performance. In first place, Elizabeth Skuth, Emily Hackwelder, and Sophie Farnham for The White Rose, Pamphlets and Peaceful Protest in Nazi Germany. Junior Paper. In third place, Diala Hain for Apollo 11, The Space Race Mission. In second place, Sophia Runyon for How World War II Affected Women in the Workplace. And in first place, Ishita Massetti for Forced to Endure, The Tragic Communication of Actions the Americans Conveyed with the Japanese. And congratulations to all of our finalists. Senior Individual Exhibit. In third place, Amara Hansen for Deaf President Now. In second place, Milena Munson for Communication in the HIV/AIDS Epidemic. And in first place, Chelsea Moran for Propaganda Posters in the Chinese Cultural Revolution. And congratulations to all of our finalists. Senior Group Exhibit. In third place, Kennedy Baldwin and Whitney Fung for Dehumanizing the Japanese. In second place, Claire Swigert and Greta Hale for A Not So Silent Spring, How a Book Communicated the Shocking Effects of Pesticides. And in first place, George Emerson and Ryune Kono for Homing Pigeons, A Helping Wing in Communication. And congratulations to all of our finalists. Senior Individual Documentary. In third place, Henry Santamaria for the International Cultural Exchange and Trade Fair Participation Act of 1956, Worldwide Communication Through Art in the Cold War Era. In second place, Faith Austin for Zitkala Shah, The Red Bird Who Called for Change. And in first place, Ben Boyce for Flowers and Explosions, How One TV Advertisement Changed the Course of Political Advertising. And congratulations to all of our finalists. Senior Group Documentary. In third place, Emma Vattenstall and Samantha K. Meyer for The Radium Girls, Luminescent Paint, Glow-in-the-Dark Watches, and the Women Who Died Making Them. In second place, Jonathan Rogers and Sarah Burns for the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, the 1963 march that made Washington, D.C. the center of political discourse. And in first place, Adita Arier, Akash Bhamik, Archie Kalra, Colin Zhao, and Diego Valencia for Able Archer 83, a borderline save from an all-out war. And congratulations to all of our finalists. Senior individual website. In third place, Zoe 2 for Yellow Peril, anti-Chinese sentiment in the United States. In second place, Kevin Chu for the Cuban Missile Crisis, a disaster avoided. And in first place, Robert Nyes for the Quadruplex Telegraph. And congratulations to all of our finalists. Senior group website. In third place, Ankita Day and Arya Arif for Rashtra Bhasha Bangla Chai, the Bengali language movement. In second place, David Rakavan and Sanai Ball for the protests of Tiananmen Square, a story of hope, retaliation, and censorship. And in first place, Bailey Schidler and Isaac Rentschler for Father Theodore Hesburgh, Bridging Communication Barriers for Civil Rights. And congratulations to all of our finalists. Senior individual performance. In third place, Raquel Brower for Talking to Chimpanzees, How Jane Goodall Changed the Way We Research and Understand Animals. In second place, Ella Dyer for Audre Lorde, A Language of Peace Uprooted from Oppression. And in first place, Rebecca Pinheiro for Cicero, Indiana, Ryan White's Advocacy for Acceptance and Truth. Senior group performance. In third place, Benjamin Riggins, David Steele, Isabella Scott, Kiefer Earl, and Maggie Schweitzer for James Whitcomb Riley, Spreading Joy Through Poetry. In second place, Avery Story, Cameron Zent, Megan Baxter, and Morgan Maley for Chernobyl Nuclear Reactor Explosion. And in first place, Erin Balaska and Samantha Ackley for Communicating Roles, The Television Housewife. Senior paper. In third place, Rebecca Harrison for Jim Crow Laws, Communicating Inferiority Across Generations. In second place, Steve Sue for Revolutionary Communication, Thomas Paine and the Forging of a New Political Language. And in first place, Abigail Ron for Shackling Sermons, How the Pseudo-Christian Communication of Pro-Slavery Preachers Fueled the South's Defense of Slavery. And congratulations to all of our finalists. Well done, all of you. It has been a pleasure to see the work you all put into your projects. And as always, thank you for teaching us all something new this year. Whether you're moving on to nationals or not, you all accomplished great things this year. Thank you again, teachers and families. Your support makes all the difference. As a reminder, if you received first or second place today in your final division and category for senior and junior division, you are eligible to compete in the national contest this year. If both first or second place cannot compete, third place may take that spot. I will be sending out emails to those who qualify for nationals immediately after the award ceremony, so please keep an eye out for that. If you are eligible for nationals and would like assistance on your project, our NHDI team will be hosting project consultation sessions on Monday, May 10th and Tuesday, May 11th. Details will be included in the email. Before we leave, I figure I should make the big announcement. I'm sure you're all wanting to know what next year's theme is, so next year's National History Day theme is Debate and Diplomacy. We don't have a logo yet, but we'd love your input. If you have an awesome idea for a logo, please send it to nhdi@indianahistory.org by June 1st. Thank you all again, and we hope to see you next year.